Hold on, I gotta get my crack ready for this.
I already took mine.
I'm working
perfect.
on it. I wasn't prepared. I had to brew mine, you know.
All right. What is up, you guys? Welcome to Savvy Scoundrel Slayers podcast, episode number 3 now. This is episode 3. We've done 3 of these. So, Honest, what is that face, bro? Are you good?
You got something to say, bro?
I'm good.
He looks like he's good.
I'm great.
So this is episode 3. Welcome back. I'm SG, the support main.
I'm Honest, the Master Yi Wuju style jungle main.
Okay, I'm your top laner, Caption.
I'm your ADC and resident run it down expert, Fawn. Nice to meet you.
Run it down, she will.
Run it down expert.
On don't.
She only knows one thing, and that's to go in.
Yeah.
I only know in. I don't. Well, actually, that's not true. I know how to go out once I see you go in and you're getting ready to die. I'm like, all right, good luck.
That's right. That's right. Leona only goes one way.
I
And it's in.
will remember you as you eat into 3 people.
So we got some good stuff on the tap for today. I think we should definitely start off with food because, you know, who doesn't love food?
I'm gonna order food. I'm talking about this because I'm hungry.
First topic is best burgers from a fast food joint. Be it Mickey D's, Burger King, Wendy's, In-N-Out, Shake Shack, Five Guys, Steak and Shake,
Apollo,
M Shack.
Astro.
Huh?
Name one. What is the best? What is the best burger that you can go and grab from a fast food joint?
You first.
Me first?
You first.
Ooh. I'm going to say it's from BurgerFi. And it's the, I think it's...
BurgerFi.
Is that a word?
Yeah, BurgerFi is a restaurant.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Is it
Yeah.
only like a southern
Yes.
thing?
I've never heard of that. That must be like
Hold on.
like a Florida thing.
Let me, no way.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, we don't got that out here in SLC.
Here. I'm gonna post it in Gen Chat.
Okay.
Here's the link to the website. Chef crafted burgers.
Fancy.
The chef crafts them.
The chef crafts them.
Okay.
Now,
Who
okay.
crafts them in
Very
regular
fancy.
places?
Some
The
minimum
waitress
wage cook.
or waiter.
Or waiter.
You know,
Yeah, I suppose.
whatever you.
So regardless, the best burger on the menu is the breakfast all day burger. It has the burger patty itself, bacon, American cheese, which I'll pass on because that's another story, maple syrup, a fried egg, hash browns, grilled onions, and ketchup. And it is so good. Eat it after you've had a night of drinking, and I promise you won't have a hangover.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, that does look pretty good.
It's
does.
pretty gas.
I would put that in my mouth.
It's pretty delicious.
Pass.
But for
It's
me,
a pass.
To pass.
for me, my favorite burger, like to the point where, like, when I eat this burger, I want to sew my ass shut. You know, and I don't ever want it to leave me.
What? Did I just hear what I just hear? Could
And
only just
so
say what I heard.
it's from Astro Burger.
Astro Burger.
It's the
Astro
Western bacon burger.
I see.
So good. It's got grilled onions. No, wait, fried onions. Something like that. It has barbecue sauce. It has bacon, tons of cheese, 2 patties, and like lettuce, tomato. Fire. It's so
and it's
good.
so good. You don't even want to shit it out afterwards.
sew my ass shut.
That's crazy.
Because it's so good.
Because it's so good.
Like
that's crazy.
Like when I eat that burger, I'd like to take it back to my place, you know? And then we would just fool around a little bit, you know? Take it slow.
He feels really strongly about this burger. I understand.
How do you fool around with the burger? Can you explain that part? I'm a little confused on that part. How do you fool around with the burger?
Please don't explain.
Regardless, either way, I call dibs on the delicious burger babies.
Oh.
Okay.
How about you, Tapson?
Something new every day.
Oh, dibs on that. But where is Astro Burgers at?
That's what I'm looking at.
I don't know. I had it in Denver, I think.
Can we go back to dibs on the burger, baby?
I was just gonna ignore past that one, like nothing happened. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna hear.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole, bro.
Honest, you want to explain that since it came out of your mouth?
Oh, you know what it means.
Do I?
Delicious burger babies.
I wish we didn't know what it meant.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a Utah thing.
Is it a Utah thing?
Okay.
Yeah,
it is in Utah.
They have 3 locations.
4.
All of them are
there's a ton. Oh, Apollo Burger, Astro Burger, and Crown Burger are all the same like franchise.
Okay, I was gonna say because the Astro Burger ones are only in Salt Lake.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay.
And you said it was called what?
Astro Burger, Apollo Burger, and
No. The one that you like consider
the Western Bacon Burger.
I don't see that one on the menu. I see a Big Tex combo.
You're like straight in their menu and everything? That's commitment.
That's it.
I gotta find out what people like, you know what I'm saying?
It's true.
I understand. Well, while you figure that out, Taption, what's your favorite burger?
Well, just to, say it, I think I'm on the same page as a lot of everyone with this burger. I think you all know what I'm going to say. And, as an Eastern people, you guys might disagree with this, but in and out.
We know. Yeah.
In and out. The double, grilled onion, grilled. Yes, with the freshest lettuce and tomato. Just simple, and 2 slices of Cheetos, 2 slices of patty. It's got to be double. Like triple, it's got a bit too much meat in it. Like single, it needs some more oomph in it. Double is the perfect one for me. And you always have to get the fries extra cooked, because In-N-Out does cook their fries a bit soggy, so you gotta ask for it to cook it a bit more extra, and which they do for you.
Hack. Okay, that's the hack.
And then you get it, and you get that.
So I was gonna say, their fries aren't like.
Well, I know. I gotta give it to you.
Their fries were soggy.
Their
but
fries.
That's why.
That's why you guys are noobs, because you gotta know that prior, and you gotta say, cook it extra more. And they do it for you if you ask for it. And then, since when they cook it a bit more extra, it's a bit crispy. You get their In-N-Out special sauce on it. Yeah.
Fancy.
And you have that with the burger. Game over.
Honestly, In-N-Out's presentation of their burger Like when you grab an In-N-Out burger out of your bag, it looks like what's on the picture, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It always
rare.
looks pristine. As
It
where any other burger, you know, it's like sloppily put together by someone who makes it $9 an hour and hand it off to you.
Also,
They make
also,
$9 an hour
Depends.
at In-N-Out. Oh, that must be a West Coast thing. I'm like, I don't think
Yeah,
they make $9
yeah,
an hour.
minimum
In-N-Out,
wage is pretty
In-N-Out
high.
specifically, they make like 15 here.
That's
Damn.
actually pretty. Well, the cost of living is higher out there, so I guess
That's
it's
true.
like proportionate.
Right.
Like kind
And-
of more out here.
Also, a lot of fast food restaurants don't cook their burgers like as to order, but In-N-Out, they make things to order, so everything's fresh. And it doesn't even take that long. Each order takes maybe 5 minutes. They cook it super fast on the fly because every menu is pretty simple. And I'm just gonna add on this: people who says Shake Shack is better than In-N-Out, I tell them that they got no taste bud in their tongues because it's just not comparable. It's just not comparable. First of all,
I
Shake Shack
agree.
is like 2 times the price of In-N-Out, and the portions are smaller, and it tastes less better. So the decision is pretty simple: In-N-Out versus Shake Shack. In-N-Out is the way to go.
Is it though?
See, I heard a lot of people say that like In-N-Out's really, really, really good, right? And they opened an In-N-Out down in Orlando, and everyone went there. Or no, it was a White Castle. I apologize.
Yeah, I was
Whoa,
like, wait,
whoa,
I don't think we
White
have
Castle?
those here.
Don't tame that In-N-Out holy burger name with White Castle. Like,
Blasphemy.
don't bring Harold and Kumar in here. Like White Castle, that's not it.
Yeah, White Castle is just a glorified Crystals. Like,
What is crystals?
it's White Castle.
Crystals.
It's just a burger place. Okay, so
Yeah,
this is why I don't know.
Like little sliders. Like that's what they're
Yeah.
famous for. Is like a bunch of like
The little White Castle burgers.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're literally like this big.
yeah. No, I know what those are, cause like you put them in the microwave. Like you open the end
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
bag
yeah,
and
they
you
sell
like
'em.
break them
Mhm.
apart and you put it. Yeah, I don't eat burgers, so I don't really
Mhm.
have an opinion on them. But
So
those sounded
okay,
good.
Fawn, what is your answer gonna be? Because then if it's not a regular burger, it would have to be like a fake burger.
I mean, I like chicken patties with burger toppings.
Okay.
This is gonna sound really, really weird, but one of my favorite sandwiches, like one of my favorite like chicken sandwiches that was like on a griddle, like made like a burger, was from the hospital cafeteria.
Wow. Normally hospital
that
food
sounds-
is
It's terrible, right? But that one had really good like burgers and like fries and like I guess it was because they cooked the chicken on the same thing as they cooked like the beef on, so it had like the burger flavor to it. But like, oh my god, it was like nice and charred and you could put whatever toppings you wanted on it, and then the fries were always like super fresh and they had this little seasoning that you could put on top of it. Oh, exquisite. Like hospital food is really not that bad.
Like, I've
Fair.
had some okay hospital food. It's pretty okay.
Yeah,
I've
like,
also had
that
some really
specifically was
bad
really good.
hospital food. Like it's
yeah.
either one or the other. Like there's no mediocre hospital food. It's either
Well-
really, really good or it's really, really bad.
Yeah, but see,
True.
usually when they bring it to you, like if you're like the cafeteria food sometimes is pretty okay. And like it's pretty good. Like they had like chicken parm and stuff like that, and like pizzas that were like, oh, exquisite. But like if they bring the food to your room from like the downstairs, now that is nasty. That's pretty gross. I've seen rolls that are like so hard that if you like smack them against the table, like it's gonna make a noise. Like you can crumble it up, and you could probably, you know, like you wouldn't even want to throw that outside to the birds because they would probably choke on how hard the pieces of bread are. But But sometimes it's good, you know? Some things, like those
Fair.
sandwiches, those chicken sandwiches were really good. So that's my
Fair.
answer.
I
That's
also
fair.
love Wendy's Baconator.
I like Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich with like all that, with like anything, any toppings on it. I can like get any burger from Wendy's and just get them to throw a chicken patty on it. It's great.
Really?
Go to Wendy's and get the 4 for $4. Like,
True. Or the
Poor
$5 biggie bag.
yeah, the $5
Mm.
biggie bag is the
That's the
move.
steal. That's the steal.
Yeah, the
because
4
the-
for 4 is okay, but the $5 biggie bag gives you the nuggies and the sandwich and the drink and the fries. Like,
yeah.
Damn.
It is a pretty
buddy,
good deal.
damn.
And then substitute your beverage for a Frosty.
Right.
Wait, you can do that?
Or wait,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can do that. Or you big brain move this.
Oh,
Oh.
he's big braining something.
If this is a giant soda,
See, I can't drink soda, so it was actually a trick.
And you donate $1 and you get the Frosty tag that gives you
Yup.
free Junior Frosties for the rest of the year. So
Yup.
now anytime I go to
What?
Wendy's, I can go get myself a free Junior Frosty. Chocolate or vanilla, doesn't matter. I can just go
Damn.
get myself a Frosty and it doesn't cost me a cent. Except for
Yup.
gas, of course.
It's OP.
bro.
It's
Damn. Okay.
OP.
That's crazy.
And that gives me something to dip my fries in, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
And your
Or if
sandwich.
you're honest. Yeah, I was gonna say,
okay,
if you're
yeah, honest
just
with his
dip the whole
dipping
thing.
sandwich in the Frosty.
Sandwich,
I don't know if
the
you
nuggets, everything.
I don't know if you can dip a whole sandwich in a Junior Frosty though. Like, there's not a whole lot of Frosty to go
Yeah, you
around
gotta
on
like
the
you
Junior
gotta like
side.
dump the first part, and then when you bite, now there's a corner.
You turn it,
Oh my
right?
god.
You
You
can
know.
do anything if you believe. If you put your mind to it, you
True.
can fit that sandwich in the Junior Frosty
Yup.
cup. You
It's
just have
like
to
Will
want it bad
Smith
enough.
said: those who say they can and those who say they can't are both usually right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I really
Wow.
liked that when you showed us that the other night. I was like, okay.
Wise
I'm
words by a
listening.
wise man.
Mm-hmm.
Such a wise man. I freaking
Mhm.
love Will Smith.
But on the topic of
Facts.
fries, who has the best French fries?
Checkers, hands down, no contest.
Facts.
Five
Checkers,
Guys.
fries.
I've never been to
No.
that place, but
No.
I gotta throw
No.
Red Robin out there.
Oh,
Red
Red
Robin.
Robin's fries are pretty fire.
Out of its
That's
fries,
true.
you can't tell me the thick cut fries by Red Robin
Yeah, those steak fries.
comes
oh,
second to
like-
none.
I
no,
mean,
I mean,
I mean,
Checkers though.
Checkers
like,
fries are literally fried in the like in the flavoring, and the seasoning is so good. Like,
and they're
oh,
always
I don't know what that
so
is. What's
crispy.
checkered?
Yeah, I don't know what
rallies.
Checkers are.
You guys have, I think you have rallies on that side of the country.
Rallies? I've never been.
I think it's still
Probably in
a-
like
a-
California.
I think it's like an East Coast thing still. Like I don't know if they have it.
That's
over
so
there.
depressing. If you don't have
Wait.
Checkers, you are missing out.
Do you have Hardee's?
We don't even have.
Yes.
Hardee's is really good actually. It's
Yes, we do.
underrated.
I never knew it was called Hardee's because in the West Coast it's called Carl's Jr.
Yes.
Oh,
There's some when you go to Hardee's and you look at like the bags, it'll say Hardee's Carl's Jr. on it. Like
the
it'll say
little
both.
star.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Damn,
Yep.
Did
Yeah.
not know.
Okay.
I didn't know that
Hardee's
either.
Hardee's used to have the best curly fries, and then they stopped selling them.
Well, Jack
They
in the Box
sold
has
them
the
to
best curly
Arby's.
fries.
Yes. Arby's is the only place that has curly fries now.
Jack
Like
Jack
the
in the
only
Box.
one.
Box. Jack in the Box.
What the hell is that?
They have like Cajun curly
What?
fries.
Wow, you've never gone to
You
Jack
don't
in the
know what-
Box.
You don't know what Jack in the Box is, bro?
No.
Dude,
The
oh
little
my
guy
god,
with
their food is
white
so
head
good.
with like a pointy nose.
No.
Literally. Bro, you don't know, you have never seen a Jack in the Box commercial ever?
No.
You're kidding. There's
No,
no,
I'm
way.
so serious. No, 100%. That's not a thing down here.
Dude, there's no
No.
way. Didn't you live up north? They have Jack in the Box. Wait, they don't have it up there.
What?
I don't think they have it up there, actually. That's crazy. Dude. It's so
Whataburger?
good.
Do you guys have
Yeah, we have
Whataburger?
that, unfortunately.
Don't you dare. Whataburger is the best drunk food you can ever have. Like, it's inexpensive, and you get a burger the size of your face at
Okay.
24 hours a day.
Okay, listen.
And their breakfast
if I
kind of
was
smacks.
if I was starving to death and the only food that I could eat was at Whataburger, I would just starve. I would just starve.
Oh, there is
before I
something
eat that
wrong
slop.
with you.
It is slop. I've never had anything good from Whataburger. Their fries have always been soggy. Somebody said get chicken strips. Those were nasty and flavorless. I was like, dude, I'm good. I am good on that.
Yeah.
I heard if you go to Whataburger in Texas, I think it's where it's originally from. I think they said it's pretty good in Texas, but I'm not sure anywhere
No,
else.
that's probably better. Like in the main.
Like
The
the,
main
the
part.
HQ.
Yeah, like have you heard of Larry's Giant Subs? Okay. It's kind of like Firehouse, but it's different. So there's a
What I
Larry's
ordered.
over here on this side of town, right? And it's okay. It's not great, but like it's okay. But then their headquarters is on the other side of town where I used to live and work. We would go there all the time for the office, and that one is phenomenal because it's like the headquarters for it. So like I totally could believe that like it's better where it originates.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
KFC. KFC's
KFC?
like buffet.
It's from Utah.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
originally from Utah. So they
But
have
then
the
why is it called Kentucky Fried Chicken? I
It's
guess
a
Utah
lot.
Fried
Style of-
Chicken doesn't have the same.
I mean,
ring to
everything
it.
is marketing.
True.
Yeah, Utah doesn't sell. They gotta make it Kentucky to make it sell.
You couldn't do it as you couldn't do KFC from Utah because then it would be UFC, and that's already taken as an acronym.
Yes. the
Isn't that is
Ultimate
that the
Fight
fighty
Club.
people?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Although I would argue that would be a really good marketing tool as well, because then you just partner with the fighting,
It's true.
and then
I mean that's true.
But imagine the
or you
Colonel
could-
fighting. He just
I
wouldn't stand a
mean,
chance.
it would be really funny,
I would
though.
Pay,
It
I
would
pay
be
money
really
to see
funny.
that.
Him trying to fight with a chicken in his chicken as his weapon. Just chuck chicken at his
Yes.
enemy. Some mac and
Mhm.
cheese. Not mac and cheese. Some mashed potatoes and gravies at
Mhm.
your opponent's eyes. You know, Colonel could put up a
I mean,
fight.
that could be pretty dirty.
Captain's all
You
getting
throw,
wild with this.
I'm
I
telling
know,
you,
right?
that could be pretty dirty. You throw mashed potatoes and gravy at somebody's face, they will not be able to fight you back because they cannot see. That is
Especially
a
if
dirty
it's hot.
tactic.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You
Y'all
can
heard
also
of
sprinkle
Grit Ball?
some of his seasoning
Same
in his
concept.
eyeballs, like make his eyeballs,
Seasoning.
all tear up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
It's like pepper spray.
Yep.
Yeah, or like
Except-
picking up dirt and throwing it at someone. It's like the same thing. You just pick up a handful of spice and you chuck it at your enemy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty dirty.
Amen.
That's a pretty dirty tactic right there.
That
All right.
definitely is.
So we've talked about food. That it does lead into our next segue of holidays. We have
How does
holidays
that
coming
lead
up.
into this?
But you
Oh,
eat
because
You
I
food
have
on
a big
holidays.
family meal, right?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like
Christmas dinner.
Thanksgiving, like Christmas dinner. If you celebrate another holiday, there's generally food revolving around that as well, like a big family
that's fair.
get-together meal.
That's fair. Mhm,
So we're
mhm.
gonna talk about holidays and family traditions. Definitely gonna start with honest on this one though. What are some of your family traditions for the holidays, or at least name one?
Ooh. So every summer, like for Easter time. So Easter will happen, and then like that following month we'll all get together for Easter. So we'll kind of celebrate Easter twice. But yeah, when we all go over to my grandma's house, my whole family, and we play a game called Apple Schmear, which is where
Me?
yeah. So have you seen Cheaper by the Dozen?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, where they're hitting with the tennis rackets, they're hitting apples, like soggy apples.
Oh my god.
That's what she does. She bakes the apples so that way we can smack them for apple schmear.
That's pretty great.
It's
Damn.
it's awesome. It's honestly fun.
It sounds
But
pretty fun.
I don't like getting messy, so it's not like my favorite
Yeah, I
thing to
can
do.
see that.
But,
Honest is kind of like that.
mm-hmm.
I just leave that over there for you.
Yeah, I'm like, that looks like I don't want to get it on my shirt. So
Understandable.
You can't ruin the 100 Thieves merch, guys.
Exactly.
You paid a lot of money for that.
I have a whole wardrobe of clothes to wear to my grandma's house because I know that she could go down. Like every time we would go over there, me and my cousin when we were kids, we'd go over there every Friday, and we would play flashlight tag, which same thing and cheaper by the dozen, where all the lights are off and you're basically playing hide and seek with flashlights.
Damn.
It's super
That's so
fun.
funny.
It's super fun.
All right, Taption.
Let's see. As you can all tell, I'm Asian.
No.
So
Korean, to be
you get
exact.
together for Asian food and play chess.
No.
No?
Chess isn't even an Asian shit. We play. Never mind. I don't know what we play in Asia instead of chess. But
TFT?
maybe.
Auto chess?
Asians are good at games, or Koreans at least are good at games. But
Y'all are usually the best at games, actually.
that sounded
yeah.
salty towards China.
well, I don't know. China took all the Korean players, so if China wins, it's basically like Korea winning by 50%. So we take that.
Oh,
Anyway.
so I was right.
Well, I'm not telling the lie because the top laner and mid laner for the Chinese team that won the finals was Korean. So
It was an import.
Well.
basically, previously
Well.
all the China teams that won the world had at least 2 Korean players in them, and they were all top laners and mid laners. So just saying. Anyway, back to my point of holidays. As Koreans, we celebrate a bit different holidays. We do celebrate like Christmas. We don't do a lot there. I guess for Christmas, we have a tradition of eating Christmas cake. So there is actually a festive Christmas cake that is Christmas themed in Korea. So it's a thing where Korean people celebrate Christmas with a cake. Outside
Never
of
had
that,
cake. For
Is it like a
Christmas.
specific kind of cake? Like you said, it's Christmas themed. Like you decorate it with Christmas type things,
yes,
and it's just like any cake.
I'll show you like an image of it. It's like I'll post it there. I'll post it in the general chat. It's basically something like this. It's like a cake that's like themed
So
out as
cute.
Christmas theme.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of variations.
So
There's like
cute.
ones with snowmen on it. There's ones with like little gingerbread cookie men on it. Whatever. And obviously you do things like trading gifts and all that stuff as well. But we don't do a lot of Christmas trees. Because we don't have a lot of those trees in Korea, obviously. I guess another interesting is Koreans have their own holiday. People call it Chinese New Year, but there's a similar thing where they have a Korean New Year-ish celebration where young kids, like in families, young kids go to like older relatives and then they do this bow thing, and they say, thank you for everything, live long, healthy lives, blah 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 blah, and the old people gives them money.
Oh.
For it. And then money for it. And so basically, as a kid, I would be waiting on this holiday to go around my relatives and bow to them and then wait for them to hand me money. And literally at the end of the day, you would have like $200. And little do you your mom and pop comes and say, I'll hold on to those for you, and they take it, and you never see that money ever again. But you know, at
Yep.
that moment where you had the money, you were happy. At that
I was
moment where you
like,
hold,
dang.
and they were like, I'll just hold on to those at the end of the day. I'll give it to you when you get home, and then you're like,
Where my
so
money
what
at?
happened to that money? What happened? You never see it
Oh my
again.
gosh.
But
Dang,
yeah.
man.
Yep.
What about you,
I was
Fawn?
like, dang. For a second, I was trying to be Korean. I was like, they just giving you money for saying thank you. That sounds like a way to get stacked on Christmas.
Mhm.
See, so like, we're not like, we're kind of like spiritual. We don't really do much. We put the tree up because I really like lights. I have lights on my bed. I just like decorating. But we just do that and then we eat. Like, we're gonna get Chinese food this year for Christmas. And
Oh,
then,
damn.
yeah, and just like hang out. We don't really do much. We just put lights up and then we hang out. It's like an excuse for us to watch movies and like just like talk to each other and like chill,
Nice.
Fair.
I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty nice. What about you, SG?
So my family, it kind of depends on what year it is. Because my dad's side of the family lives up north, and then my mom's side of the family lives south of us, and then my family directly lives right around where I live. So if it's a year where we're with my mom's side of the family, then we usually travel down there for like Christmas Eve. And then the tradition is that we open one present from under the tree on Christmas Eve as like
you get to pick,
you know,
or is there a
Yes.
specific one?
no, you get to pick. So you got to pick wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you
Which-
open up a
which-
PlayStation 5 controller, you're gonna be like, dang it, I was so
Yeah.
close.
I'm pretty sure we had something similar happen one year where like I was a kid and this was like right after the Game Boy Advance SP came out, the flip one,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
Yeah, so it was right
That was
after that
fire.
came out. And then like I went to go grab a box and my mom came over and was like, you can't open that one. And I was like, why? And she's like, you just can't open it. Come to find out the next morning that it was one of the games for the new Game Boy Advance that like she didn't want me to open the game and ruin the surprise.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
she had me open something else instead.
Okay.
And then another tradition we have is like for stocking stuffers, we don't do like just smaller presents. Usually our stocking stuffers are like useful things, toothbrush, toothpaste, an orange.
That's pretty useful.
An orange. Oh, he's. Uh-oh.
What happened to SG?
Wait for it.
Rip. Oh,
There you are.
I don't know what
I
happened.
thought you fixed the DC problem.
I've got like 10 applications running all right now, so it could be a hardware problem instead of an internet problem because it only happens every once in a while now versus like every 10 minutes.
Fair.
So you just have to cut that. An orange. There's always an orange in the stocking. And it's something like my dad's mom started doing. She was a teacher, and she was like, "There's got to always be at least one healthy thing in your stocking, because the rest of it's always candy and other stuff like that, like the candy canes that have like the other candy inside, like the Reese's peanut butter cups stacked up inside. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Fire.
like, there's always one of those in there, and then the rest of it's just all healthy stuff. And a pair of socks, because that's important.
Very important.
The dryer always eats the socks, and so any socks that you get on Christmas will take about a year for you to run out of socks. So you got to get some more. So you know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yep, that's pretty much it. And then we eat a lot. We have like think of your Thanksgiving spread. We do the same thing on Christmas because there's a lot of people in our family, so like we gotta have enough food. So we do like a whole thing on Christmas.
We did chili verde.
Yeah.
You what? Did you say you eat Calabrian chilies? Is that what you said?
No, chili verde.
What is chili verde?
It's a Mexican like it's like
Salsa?
chicken and yeah, it's like kind of like salsa but with chicken in it.
Oh,
That makes sense.
Oh.
We'll do like the
Interesting.
turkey, and then the day after you have the turkey soup with the dumplings in it,
Oh,
and turkey sandwiches if you have any like actual turkey meat left. So good.
Nice.
So good.
interesting.
So that's
Yeah.
holidays. So honest, you have a good job right now. You
I do.
work for AT&T?
Enjoy, but we
Enjoy,
deliver
right.
for AT&T.
Deliver for AT&T. If you could imagine yourself in your dream job, is it the one that you have right now, or do you have like aspirations to do more?
I want to be in esports. I mean, obviously, I'm not good enough to be a pro player. So that dream, like, unless I plan on becoming pro level in the next, like, 3 years and then joining the LCS as the oldest player, that's the only way I could realistically play pro.
I mean, Bjergsen's coming back.
It's true.
He's on the roster.
But he's
Right?
26, I think.
Yeah.
I'm almost 28.
So it's fine. You just have some more life experience. Here's what you do. You attend JS Methods class during the boot camp. He's got a lecture specifically planned out for your climb to challenger, climb the master in 1.5 years. And laying out your long-term solo queue grind goals so that you can plan out your grind to master. And once you
I'm
hit
really
that,
excited.
I think it's going to be a really good lecture.
Yeah, because he actually did it. He was like, I think he was gold like last season, or like, well, not the season that just ended, but like the season before. So he actually went from gold to
Wow.
masters. Yeah. So like he's gonna like tell us how he did it. I'm like, and I remember one time he was talking about it on his stream. He was like, I had stuff written down, blah 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 blah. So like I am hyped for this lecture. We need to go. We all need to be there. Okay. 10 out of
Yes.
10.
What day is that?
What day is that? Schedule,
know.
man.
But
That is on. Hang on 1 second. I got a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, same.
true.
They're
wanna
wrapping up my
say-
food.
What did you order?
Like,
Fairly
I got
early.
Firehouse subs.
Oh,
You
okay.
better make sure you get your
Yeah.
pickle this time.
Dude, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And make sure they put it into the basket.
The basket?
Yeah, the food bin.
I've always been curious why there's different words for different things. Like, depending on where you are.
'Cause it's like a
Bye.
regional thing. Like, people just, it's like whoever you congregate around, you start saying different things. Like, I used to say rest in pepperonis, and now because I hang out with SG, I say rest in pepperoncinis. So, like, the
Yep.
more you hang out with, like,
Yeah.
different groups, you start to adapt what they say, right? So it's like the same thing with, like, regional things. So, like, someone hears something wrong in one part of the country and then goes to a different part of the country and starts saying it wrong, and then that's how that part of the country says it, right?
Yeah.
It's so cool, though. Like, I
It's
love
like a game of
that.
telephone.
Exactly.
Like,
Oh,
if you
it's
guys ever
on
have a
Saturday.
conversation. Oh, on Saturday.
It's on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern.
I will be there.
Be there or
Probably.
be square.
And
That's
now
something you
that
gotta
I'm
say.
realizing it, this podcast isn't going to come out until after the boot camp is already over. So
Sure.
this is a past
Oh,
lecture.
watch it on the
So,
app.
yes, make sure you go to the app, purchase a Boot Camp 5 ticket after the fact. It won't be an actual ticket, it's just purchasing the VODs. But all of the stuff that happened during the boot camp is recorded and uploaded to the bootcamp.lol app for you to go and watch.
Mhm.
And this lecture will be a part of that, as well as like 20 other really good lectures, plus all of the VOD review sessions and other classes and guest presentations and all of that stuff. So go
It's
to
lit.
bootcamp.lol, discord.gg/bootcamp, and get yourself a ticket for the upcoming boot camps that are coming out. We've got a lot of really fun stuff in store for you guys.
Hashtag ad.
Hashtag kind
Shameless plug.
Shameless
Of ad. Yeah, it's more of a shameless plug than an ad.
True.
Because ads,
I mean,
like people pay for ad spots. So it's
I'll pay
not like a
1
paid
cent.
promotion.
I'll pay each of us 1 cent
True.
for the ad.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
So back to
But
the
yeah,
topic.
I would say my like goal is to work in esports.
Okay,
Mhm.
fair
Like
enough.
I want to even if I'm not like playing, I would love to like be an analyst for the LCS, or even just working on the back end systems would be dope. Because I
That
kind
would
of
be
like
cool.
that stuff, but I don't want to like I don't have the discipline to learn it without a reason.
Mhm. Understandable.
Fair enough.
And
Is it
so
my turn?
Gotcha.
yeah, what
Mhm.
about you,
So
Taj?
right now, I'm working as a UX researcher for a startup called Itemize, and UX researcher stands for User Experience Researcher. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically when a new app, website, a product is designed, you have to see if it's user friendly, and and you gotta see if everything works to its intent. So my job is to kind of see the first look of the design and figure out if it's working, run some tests with target users, and do all sorts of like that, things like that. And this was actually my goal career to go in when I was in college. So I guess I am successful in that term. But you know, if I really were to think about like a goal career, like I would sometimes imagine what would it be like if I was actually a big ass Twitch streamer. Like if I was a big
Ooh.
Twitch streamer, that would be a life to live.
Game.
Like, wouldn't that be a life to live?
Pulling in like Ninja in his heyday, like
Freaking
Yeah,
that
like,
that kind of
Ludwig.
money. Oh yeah,
Ludwig, yeah, dude.
Like-
He's big right now. It's crazy.
Insane.
not even that big. Like, just like a normal, like, if a Twitch streamer with like 100 plus viewers, like, imagine that life. Like, that would be a fun life to live. Because my passion lies in gaming. It doesn't mean I'm good at gaming, but I love gaming. I could game for 24 hours a day if I had to. So it's basically doing what I love the most and also making it a profession. So that's what I wonder about sometimes, but more
what's holding you
realistic.
back?
What?
What's holding you back?
I mean, I am
He's-
streaming on Twitch right now, but it takes time to build up your audience and it takes time to make that money. And in realistic life setting, I need money now to put food on the table. So I have a job and I do streaming on top of it, which makes it harder to stream for long times and consistently. So that's something I've been trying to work on, stream more and more consistently, even if I have a job. But yeah,
I
That's
like
me.
it.
I know that that's the reason, because you've told me before you're a realist.
yes, sir. I'm a realist, and like I know it's hard. Like first time I streamed on Twitch was like a year ago, and I still don't have like a real big audience. I have about 3 or 4 people that comes in consistently, and there might be a couple people that drops in and out. Um, but most people don't return. That's probably my fault for not streaming enough and not being professional enough, I guess, in terms of streamer sense. Uh, But yeah, I've been trying to work on it. I will still continue to stream as like a hobby because I like doing it, and playing games by myself it gets dull sometimes. So
Fair.
I just like to have somebody like to talk to while I'm gaming, and just to hang out with. It makes me feel like I'm with somebody instead of when you're playing games by yourself. It's kind of, yeah.
I can grind solo, and it is what it is. Like, I'll probably enjoy it for like an hour, and then like that's kind of it. Like, I'm not gonna go play League by myself. I'm not gonna go play Valorant by myself. Like, it just kind of makes you like you burn out a lot easier versus when you're doing it with your friends. If you're playing games with your friends, you could do it all day and not even realize that like you've done it for an entire day because like you spent the time with your friends, right?
For sure.
And I
For
think
sure.
that's part of like what our goal is as a group, right? As the
Sure.
Savvy Scoundrel Slayers is like start streaming together, and then we can do the climb together, right?
Mhm.
We'll all be streaming, we'll all be playing together, and we'll be having a good time while we're doing it. Like that's kind of the dream, and that's how I mean, looking at some of the other big streamers, right? They all stream as a group, right? They've
Mhm.
got their
Like a
friend group.
thing.
It's not like one person has to be funny, right? They play
Yeah.
off of each other, and that's how the quality content comes out. I think like the
Mhm.
Misfits podcast, like and like that group of people that like game together, like
And OTV.
they're all
Mhm.
funny on their own, sure, but like when they're together, they're fucking hilarious.
Right. It's the
Mhm.
synergy.
Yeah, it's the synergy
Right.
of the people, right?
Mhm.
It's
What about you,
so
Fawn?
true.
What was the question
What
originally?
is your dream job? Like, what would be your dream job?
I have it.
You have it. What
I
is your
have it.
job?
I'm a community host for bootcamp.law.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
get paid to play and talk about League of Legends all day.
Very nice.
True.
I mean, it's just
True.
like at the beginning of the year, like when like COVID was still I guess it was kind of starting to die down a little bit. I kind of just decided I was like, dude, I'm gonna build myself a computer. I'm gonna stream, and I knew I was like, I'm not good enough to make it into like the LCS or be like a pro player or something like that. I was like, there's no way, and like I don't think I have the discipline to like get to that level, even though I'm still going for the 900 LP challenger. It probably will be 1K next year is like the challenger like cap. We'll get there still. But I knew that like the realistic thing was for me to try to find a different way to get into like working in like esports. And I just got really, really lucky because I was like, the best way to do it is to try to improve first and then work your way up. I was like, if I get to like plat or diamond, right, that makes it a little bit easier for you to get into esports.
Mhm.
But I got lucky because I joined Bootcamp 2 and then they were like community hosts, and I was like, and I actually got the position. So like I'm pretty happy. Like this is what I wanted. I just wanted a way to be able to play League and do it as a job, because like at the end of the day, even though I'm like, bro, League makes me so mad, I'm a disgruntled ADC, blah, 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 I will never stop playing this game. I eat, sleep, breathe, bleed League of Legends. I go to bed watching League content. Like literally this is all I do all day
Same.
long. Like we'll be having like a meeting and I'm watching like an ADC stream in the background, or like a wave management guide, or like trying to figure out something, looking at like u.gg, like trying to see like, are we still building this on Caitlyn? Like how does this work? Like what is Ash going now? Is she still the same thing? Like like that's what I do all day. So I'm like, if I can get paid to do what I'm already passionate about, I'm happy. So I have my dream job. I'm really lucky.
Fair.
On.
That's dope.
Nice.
Alright.
What about you,
SG?
SG?
I also am in that same boat of I have my dream job. I'm the project manager for bootcamp.law. So I do not the same stuff that Fawn does, but I manage everybody that works in the boot
He
camp.
tells
company.
Fawn what Fawn needs to do.
Yes, as well as all the other people. But there's lots of time for me to be able to hang out and just play games with everybody too. So we hang out, we play games, we plan out what kind of stuff is going to be going on in the server. We try to bring guest speakers in. We run these crazy things called boot camps and and try and get that all set up as best as we can. So that other people can have these same opportunities where they get to come in, they get to learn some fun things and hang out with fun people and, meet people like you guys who we all met through boot camp.
Guys, this is my first time ever having like a group of friends that I like consistently play with. Like I'm like, all right, I can get on with the boys. Like I'm like, all right, I'm going to play with the boys tonight, and it's like the same group of people. Like it's so nice.
Yeah.
Like I finally found my like place. You know what I mean? It's really like this. I'm so glad that boot camp is a thing, and I'm so glad that I bought my ticket for boot camp too, because like that just changed like my whole entire life. It's crazy.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. Like the fact that I can just hop on, and, like if any of one of you three are on, like I freaking play ? And then freaking you're in the lobby right after your game.
I'm on.
Yeah,
For sure.
whether it's TFT or if it's ranked or Ultimate Brave, not Ultimate Brave, whatever, like Ultimate Spellbook. That's what I'm thinking.
I was gonna say, yeah, no ARAMs for Honest.
Yeah, Honest is ARAM hater.
I mean, I play sometimes, but it's just
True.
not my preference.
I've never seen you play an ARAM.
I've seen him play one. He's played one with Chalupa and I.
I played one
Where's
like
my
2 days
ARAM?
ago. Played one 2 days ago with Plank and them.
I heard we're playing an ARAM after this.
I'm down.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Honestly,
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
I don't want to, but I guess I have to say yes.
I'm glad
Hey.
you knew that you had to say yes.
I'm down.
Let's go. All right, Pog.
Let's do it.
All right. So next topic, Android versus iPhone.
True.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for all of us to shit on SG.
Let's first go around and say, like, in short, which side they are. I'm on the Android side. Fawn?
I'm on the Android side as well.
I'm on the iPhone side.
Android all the way, baby.
Okay, so now since I'm clearly the odd one out, let me give my opportunity to explain. As far as iPhone goes, and Apple as a company, what I really like about iPhones is the ecosystem that Apple has managed to build around their products, right? iPhone, iPad, iMac, Apple Watch, they've got the smart home stuff now, MacBooks, all of AirPods, all of it all works really, really, really well together seamlessly. It requires almost no setup. You just plug and play and it goes, right? And it just works. And I can pick up something that I'm working on my phone, and then I can go over to my iPad and I can pick up exactly where I left off, right? If I need to go and, I don't want to take my phone with me on a run or something like that, I can just take my Apple Watch and I go, and my AirPods are going to play directly from my watch. I don't have to worry about it. If I got to take a phone call, all functions through my watch, which I know Samsung has their own stuff for that too. But it all works really well together. And then if you're someone that has a Mac, which is something I don't have, it still plays just as nice with that stuff as well. My iMessages would work on my Mac and be texting like I was on my phone, and it's all in one place, versus what I have to do now is like, if I miss a text message on my phone because I'm in the middle of gaming with you guys, right? I'm going to miss that text message. But there's not really any kind of like cross play like that between Android as well.
If only you had an Android. I can answer my text messages from my phone, from my computer.
If only.
If only.
If only.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think iMessage might work in a browser. Maybe? I'd have to look into a little bit more. But yeah, so like...
None of us look convinced.
No. So on top of all of that, iPhone generally is more user-friendly to someone who is newer to the smart devices, right? So like if you're someone who's going from like a 1980s like brick phone, right, and has to get a smartphone, an iPhone is a lot easier to pick up and start using than an Android, because an Android is a lot more complex. It has more complex features, things that it could do, right, than an iPhone does, because that is the perk of an Android. Is
Can I
that
ask you something? Can I
Yeah,
ask you
sure.
something? So what you're saying is
You're an old man.
you're you're saying that iPhones are for boomers? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I guess to an extent, I could see the argument is that iPhones are for boomers. Yeah, like it kind of is. You know, like it was a lot easier for me to convince my granddad to get an iPhone than it was to get the new Google Pixel, right? Like he picked up the iPhone and loved how quickly he was able to pick it up and use it versus trying to navigate the Google Pixel phone, which is not a bad phone by any means. But it was just easier for him to pick it up and use it, right? So I could see that that is like your target audience. Plus, if you consider the fact that they're more expensive than Android phones tend to be, right? The target audience for that is not your 20-year-old who works at McDonald's demographic. It's just not, because it's not. I'm just saying, like, that's not the target audience of people that can actually afford that product. Right?
Here's my counter argument though. Because Apple is such a prestigious company, right? And everyone wants an iPhone because of the label. There are still 20-year-olds that work at McDonald's and have their iPhone on payment plans because Apple.
I'm not saying that they don't. I'm not saying that they don't. What I'm saying is that's
will give you for $500.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they won't do that. What I'm saying is that's not the target audience for Apple's products. If people decide to assert themselves into the demographic of people that want the product, that's on the individual. That's not what the company's marketing, right?
True. Okay. Fawn, why do you like Android?
Because my phone features and everything, all the specs. My phone was $500. I think it was like $460, $470 something. And it had the specs. I think it was when the iPhone. What's like the iPhone that came out like 2 years ago, a year ago?
The iPhone
11?
10s or 11? Yeah,
11. Or 11. Well, it had the same specs as the newest iPhone that came out when I was getting a new phone. The newest iPhone was like $1,100, and this one was $500, and it had the exact same specs. Actually, I think this one has a better camera. So that's my argument. You can get the same products or a better product for a lesser price, but you pay for Apple to smack their name on it. And I actually switched from Apple. I threw my AirPods in the trash because I paid like $170 for AirPods. They broke in 2 months, and I bought a $20 pair off of Amazon that I've had for 2 years now.
Yeah, I've never had any problems with my AirPods. And then when I did have, my dog ate one of them at one point. It's just parts of being a dog owner.
Dogs.
Dogs. What can I say?
They don't care if it's Android or iPhone.
Exactly.
Does
it fit in their mouth? Yes or no?
Okay, fair.
So I had that problem. I went to Apple and they replaced it no cost. Like they were just like, here's a new pair, which was really nice. That's the other thing, is that like with an Android, unless you're going like you have like a Windows phone, right? If I have a problem, I just go to the Apple store and like they know how to take care of the problem right there. Versus otherwise, you might have to find a specialist or something like that to take care of your particular Google or Android device, right? There's one place that I have to go and get my tech problem solved versus like having to try and dig around and find it.
And find out where it is, yeah.
Fair, that's fair.
Fair.
That is true.
And Apple makes it really the one con to Apple is it makes it really hard to switch from Apple to something else without having to give up a lot of stuff, right? You threw your AirPods in the trash, that doesn't count. But like for someone who has for someone that already has the Apple ecosystem that exists, to then say, okay, I don't want to use Apple anymore, I want to switch to Android, I now have to replace all of these products
Maybe you
that
shouldn't have
already
had them all
have.
in the first place.
But
Think
not
about that.
everyone is in that position,
I'm just
right?
kidding. I'm
Like,
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's
it's a
like a
move from
con
one
of
to
the
the other.
Apple. It's only compatible with other Apple devices. It's not universal. Whereas Android devices work with Apple, works with anything.
And
It's
like
true.
any Android will work. It's not like I'm stuck with using Samsung products. I can use anything that works with any Android system, like at all. So it's like,
Just
you
to
know.
give some Apple some credit, in the Steve Jobs era, when the Apple first came out, it was revolutionary. Apple was the first smartphone. I'll give you that. Apple started the smartphone. I'll give you that. And it started so I'm in the UX industry, like I mentioned before, and Apple started this whole user friendliness, user centered design. So it was revolutionary in that sense. But after the Steve Jobs era, how much of Apple has changed? They
That's
made
true.
a lot of
That's the
money.
question.
They made different designs. But think about it. Apple in its general core hasn't done much to change it. Of course, they came up with other devices that are compatible with it. But if you just look at the phone, it's just the same smartphone with a better specs and better camera, and that's pretty much it.
And they do it
But
on repeat, right?
yeah, and and then you see Apple, right now there's how many iPhones are there? All they do is change the number of camera lenses, maybe change the size a little bit. The specs are the same. They say it gets better, but honestly, we all know that's some BS. They made a minor change the spec and say a whole new upgrade. Snapdragon, not Snapdragon. Apple made its own processor. Something like that. Like, but we all know in 2 years that smartphone is gonna be dead, and it's gonna be crafted like that by design to break, because they want you to buy the next iPhone. I mean, I guess that's kind of same with all smartphone, but I think I think this point kind of came up, but Apple products tend to last shorter lifespan compared to Android devices. Like, I've been using my Android device. All the Android device I have is still working, and I still use it, and it's at least been like 4 or 5 years. So they're more durable.
Dang.
They last longer, and when a new Android device comes out, it actually has features that it didn't have before that makes you want to buy the next device instead of just making a different color and saying it's a whole new phone. Because
I
because
think I think what Apple does in terms of marketing is what Apple does better is their software, right? The software side of Apple tends to be better, and
But my
they
iPhone was really slow in comparison to my new phone.
but that's right, but that's in compare like that's the problem with the whole model is that Apple packs all of their features into iOS, right? And then they push out updates all the time. And eventually what ends up happening is the stuff that they log into the software side is too much for the hardware that is in the existing phone, right? Versus what Android does is Android makes devices that are a little bit more ahead hardware-wise, and then they're playing catch up with software, right? And then like it takes longer, right? It takes longer for the Android device to hit that point of like, okay, it's too slow for me to use on a regular basis because they front loaded on the hardware and then played catch up with software, where Apple's doing the opposite. Is that right?
But y'all just
Who are we
hold
to
on, I have a
say?
question. But y'all just got that swiping feature to type, right? Like not too long ago.
I mean, the feature's been there for forever. It's just a question of whether or not you like it was natively in iOS, right? Like there were apps for it for forever, and you had the ability to
But it
switch the
wasn't
keyboard.
right. But it wasn't like in the software. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like
Right.
built in.
I downloaded Google Keyboard on my iPhone.
Yeah, Google.
Yeah, I did too.
Google Keyboard, or there was one called I think it was just called Swift Key. Yeah, that was the other one. That had the same
like
feature.
Meta before Google Keyboard.
They got him brainwashed, guys. He's on the Apple train.
So I've been selling phones for like 7 years now, right?
Okay.
So I got to see the tail end of the like Steve Jobs era and into this new Tim Cook era.
Mm-hmm.
And so from my point of view, like Google has done so much to like software wise be able to just work with any device, right? They're like friendly to all.
Mhm.
Versus Apple is very like hard fought of like nobody can access this but us, right?
Mm.
Which, I mean, to each his own. That's, I mean, a lot of people like security, so that is more secure. But what?
I'm gonna
so when
bookmark that for our next conversation.
Yeah. So when I was first getting into smartphones, my first smartphone was an iPhone 4. And this was when the 5 had just come out. And man, was it so slow. It sucked so bad. But I was like, oh, okay, like what's inside of a phone actually matters. Like I should probably look at what's inside the phones. And that's when I like started getting into it of like looking at the specs of each phone that was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And the iPhone 5S, which still had Steve Jobs' design in it, was the first smartphone to have a 64-bit processor. It had the best camera, everything. It was the works. I was like, perfect. That's the one I'll get. So then the next year, I'm like, oh, well, I can upgrade. I'm going to get whatever's the best. And they came out with the iPhone 6. And the iPhone 6 was literally almost a mirror image of the 5S, just in a different form factor.
Mhm.
It had the 6 and the 6 Plus. But it was literally almost exactly the same. And I was like, why would Apple do that? Like, nobody's going to buy this phone. Like, that's
Then
literally
everyone
the worst
bought it.
decision ever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You'd
I
be
ate my words.
surprised.
The iPhone 6 was the biggest selling iPhone of all time, even to this day. And that was kind of what set their sights on, like, wait a second, we did nothing. And we sold more than ever. So the 6S obviously is going to look the same, right?
Mhm.
But the 6S came out with the pressure sensitive screen. And I was like, that's sick.
Oh.
But I didn't buy it because the specs didn't upgrade or anything. Actually, they downgraded. I think it was like a 12% less battery. It's 12% smaller because the screen was so much thicker.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, like, there was so much retaliation from the 6S. Like, people complaining about battery life.
Mhm.
So when Apple, this is where you had a good point on the marketing thing. Apple is so good at making it sound like it was the best thing since sliced bread, right? they're like, when they're introducing the iPhone 7, I'm watching the announcement, and he's like, biggest battery in an iPhone ever. 15% bigger than the iPhone 6S.
Mhm. Wow, amazing.
But wait, wasn't the 6S 12% smaller than the 6? So 12 minus 15, that's only 3% biggest battery in an iPhone ever. Technically.
Wow.
It's all about how they market it, right? Like 100%. Like I will be the first to admit that they're not, like, I don't go and get like the newest iPhone that comes out every year, right? I'm just not that. One, I don't have the money to do so. Two, I don't see a need. If my phone's not like super slow, like there's no
Yeah.
need for me to go and get it. I don't do that with any of my Apple products. Like I don't go and get like the newest AirPods, right? Or the newest Apple Watch. Like I'm still chilling on an Apple Watch Gen 3. Like that thing's old.
Jeez.
But it
The
still
thing is-
works just fine.
It definitely does.
The thing is, good marketing is, it could be a pro and a con, because people buy it because of the marketing, not because the product itself is good. That's why sometimes people call iPhone users dumb, because they make it the same price, and they make the power brick. They take the power brick out, and you have to buy that separately, and it's more expensive, and people still buy it.
Which is
And
100%. It's one of the things that I disagree with as an Apple user. Like taking the headphones out when you decided to not have a headphone jack anymore. All right, that's kind of whack, right? I get you're trying to sell AirPods, but I don't agree with the decision, right? It was something you were including. Like, what is it really saving you, right?
right.
Taking the power brick out, stupid. Especially because they changed the port to use, right? They
Right,
changed
that one.
the plugs from USB to just Lightning to Lightning, or they went from USB-C to Lightning. Like that was
Yeah.
an option as well. Like not including the power brick. Okay, now I don't have a way to charge my phone.
Exactly.
Like what the hell was that?
When I
decision?
listened to that announcement when they said that, well, so they said that like, oh, X amount of people who like there's X amount of bricks out there already like causing damage to the environment, right? So instead of including a brick, we're not going to include that anymore. But they didn't say that exactly. They were like, everybody has these bricks. And so we've decided to make our box smaller. Has nothing to do with the brick, but all right.
To save shipping costs.
Yes,
right?
Yes. And so then they can send out twice as many iPhones on one load, right? And I'm like, oh wow, like they got smaller bricks or something. And then they were like, and we're going to include a Lightning to USB-C fast charging cable in every box. And I was like, damn.
You gotta buy a new brick anyway.
Not thinking that, oh wait, they're including the fast charging cable. Not saying that they're also going to include a brick for that cable or headphones. None of that's going to be included. Just the cable. That makes sense. It's like the way they said it. That's why every time I'm delivering a phone, they open it and they're like, "Does it not come with a brick?" And I'm like, "Didn't you watch the announcement?" I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I know. I didn't know either until I opened it.
The iPhone box, you just open it. It's the manual, iPhone sticker, the phone, and the cable, and that's it. And that's all there is.
And it's funny because if you look at the back of the iPhone, like the box where it says what's in the box, it says, so like in the same way that it did on the older models, it'll say like cable, headphones, brick, right? In the same way, it says now it has the new like fast charging cable, right? And then that's the end of that sentence. And then it completes the whole rest of the line saying headphones and power adapter. And then in the next line, it says not included.
That's kind of whack.
That whole top side still looks exactly the same. They just added like, not included on the...
And see, like, I used to be on the Apple train so hard. I loved my iPhone. I loved my AirPods while they worked. But then I realized it was a scam. I mean, I get it. It's easier to use, but, like, man.
Much easier.
I feel like Apple takes advantage of its users because they know they're going to be loyal no matter how badly they are treated. And that's why... You know, we think as Android users, looking at Apple users, they are gullible and they are being manipulated and they are fine and they'll still use Apple no matter what we tell them. And you know,
but we still love you, SG.
See if I gank your lane anymore.
See it. And I actually am like more unbiased than most in the sense of like I know that the iPhone 13 Pro Max versus the Pixel 6 Pro, like they're neck and neck. The iPhone is actually really freaking good now. But the fact that it took so long for them to actually have to make it good is what upsets me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I think their computers are good though.
Yeah,
like I think their computers are really good.
But like, if you want
at those
like
price points, they better be like.
Oh,
why is everything so expensive with Apple, man?
Okay, but hold on. So like, let's think about that piece for a second too. Like, and then after this, we'll wrap it up. what Apple has managed to do with their computers is so damn impressive because it all is behind the screen. The entire computer, every little bit, and it has a ton of power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is in a form factor that's this thick. Like I'm looking at Morgan's iMac right on her desk right there. Like her iMac, her brand new one is literally less than an inch thick, right? It is super, super thin, but it is incredibly powerful. And for video editing or photo editing or any like music, like any of that stuff, Macs reign supreme on doing those things versus Windows PCs because of how efficient they are. And it's super, super, super impressive that they managed to fit it into such a small form factor. When you look at a Windows computer, you have this big ass tower to be able to perform that same amount of functionality that a Mac does. But you can't upgrade a Mac like you can upgrade a PC. If something breaks in your PC, you just go buy new parts and you call it a day, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever, right? You
Like
keep
my
your
shit
monitors
started
the
going
same
slow,
or whatever.
I freaking just put in 2 RAM sticks and now I'm good. You know, 20,
Yeah, you know,
$30 and I was good.
oh, I ran out of memory. I need to go grab a new hard drive or a new SSD, right? And then you just slot it in and you're done, right? I went and bought, like on Black Friday, bought a new SSD, 1 terabyte for like $60. Yeah, an M.2 drive, literally just slotted it right in, screwed it down, and it was done. And I had a whole terabyte of space extra to do stuff. And it was lightning fast too. Like it was super quick to install. Whereas a Mac, you got to buy a new Mac. You know? But they will last you a long time. But a Mac will, like my mom, she runs Macs for all of her coding and everything that she does. And her iMac has been running for like 10 years. And it's just now starting to slow down. Like she's she's looking at getting a new one. But 10 years she's had the same computer and it's had no problems, hasn't died, hasn't, had any problems, and it works just fine. So they last a long time for the computers.
Yeah, their computers are fantastic.
Won't last that long.
They put all their energy into the computers.
I gotta give it to their MacBooks and iMacs. Their MacBooks and iMacs are pretty good.
They're pretty fire.
It's just expensive.
Yeah.
All right. Are we almost done? My food's like 5 minutes away.
I think so. We should wrap it up there. So thank you, everybody. That's it for episode 3 of the Savvy Scoundrel Slayers podcast. And we will catch you guys.
To our Spanish friends.
Yes. Trace. We'll catch you guys next week. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.